What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. So Nigerian President has released his progress report and it's only 155 pages long. At first, I was so excited to read about all the great things the president has done since he came into power. I was so sure that I would read that the roads have been fixed, electricity has become stable. I was hoping to read that security has been taken care of in Nigeria. I was so excited. I was like, oh my goodness, 155 pages. Hey! But my people, let me tell you, when I read through the thing, I was so disappointed. I was like, oh Lord, let me give you some highlights. Do you believe that they said the president transformed the Ministry of Agriculture by commercializing cassava bread? I was like, what? Cassava bread? Like, seriously? How did that transform the life of Nigerians? That thing that he's holding in his hands, how did that thing transform the lives of Nigerians? Even the farmers, how did that transform their lives? Especially those farmers that refuse to plant cassava bread. Secondly, they said his administration transformed the Ministry of Communication Technology because we now have locally produced computer tablets equivalent to the iPad. I said, wait a minute, wasn't that the Nigerian version of iPad? The one called Inye, made by this guy. What's his name again? And yes, Said Adepoju. I said, how can the Ministry of Communication claim credit for this thing? I'm not even sure that they are supporting the guy. Because if they are supporting him, the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee will not be spending 30 million naira to acquire iPads instead of buying this locally made one made by this guy. By the way, the guy's name is not in the report and he was the one that made this iPad that they are claiming credit for. Moving forward, the Ministry of Labor and Productivity said in their progress report that they handled the subsidy crisis very well in January. That is their progress report. I was like, what are these people talking about? You bribed the leaders of the labor union and you call that deft handling of crisis? Hey, now wow. They also claimed they negotiated the national minimum wage. I said, how can you negotiate 18,000 naira? Hey, what is here to negotiate now? That is a progress report. You made minimum wage 18,000. How much is 18,000 naira per month? Like $165. How can people survive on that? And you are claiming that as a progress report. By the way, there are some states that are yet to pay this minimum wage. They're claiming that they don't have the money. See, that's the progress right there. Despite the progress noted in the health sector, Nigerians still fly abroad for medical treatment. Shebi as I speak, Her Excellency, the First Lady of Nigeria, Dame, Dr. Mrs. Honorable Permanent Secretary, Patience Faka Jonathan, JP, is receiving treatment in a German hospital. I mean, she's resting in a German hospital. We are not stupid. Imagine. As for the Ministry of Aviation, all I see in this report is Mr. President's aspirations, some things he's hoping will come to be. Abuja Airport City Concept, that is for the future. Lagos Airport City Concept, also for the future. Port Harcourt Airport Concept, also for the future, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. My question is, when will all these pictures become reality? Because we've been seeing pictures like this for ages. How come they didn't include in this aviation report that we've had a terrible plane crash that could have been prevented? And they didn't include that a Nigerian airline went out of business. That is Air Nigeria. Instead, they come up with this bogus concept, but the basic things are left undone. The roads are still bad. When people buy a brand new car in Nigeria, within a year, they have to start repairing. And do you know how many people died this year alone from road accidents? Even if it's the Lagos or Benin road that you fix, that would have been something to put in the progress report. Or just the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. And the epileptic power supply is making it very hard for businesses to thrive in Nigeria. Every day is up NEPA, down NEPA. The next election is 2015, Mr. President. There is still room to make a difference. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stop printing all these glossy progress reports. Just roll up your sleeves and do something tangible. Chic, you know me, I'm just keeping it real. Speaking of progress, Nigeria just borrowed $1 billion from China. Did you hear that? $1 billion. Remember not long ago, the Nigerian government was saying that Nigeria is not broke. That's not why they removed fuel subsidy. They say, we are not broke, we are not broke. For real, we are broke. You know, when people heard this news, they started asking questions. Why are we borrowing money from China? Well, as expected, Mrs. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, our finance minister, issued a statement explaining why we had to borrow from China. She said the terms at which the credit was obtained are very favorable. According to her, they obtained this loan at 2.5% interest compared to about 16% interest from Nigerian banks. In other words, Nigerian banks have this money. It's just that the interest rate that we will pay in our country is too high. First of all, I hope that this thing is for real, 2.5% interest rate. I hope the thing was not written in Chinese, you know, ching chung chang, chan tu. I'm really suspicious. Why is China offering 2.5% when other people are offering like 16%? Is there something that Mrs. Ngozi is not telling us? What's in it for China to give it to us at 2.5% for a 20 years payment period? By the way, not long ago, Mrs. Ngozi was campaigning that Nigeria has too much debt. And as a result of that, she gave away more than $18 billion of Nigeria's earnings to the Paris Club, the IMF, and the London Club. More than $18 billion. If the minister said we have too much debt and she paid off more than $18 billion of Nigeria's earnings, why are we borrowing money again from China? She also said that this money that we're borrowing from China will be used to build a new airport in Lagos. I said, what about fixing the one that we already have? I'm not saying we shouldn't build a new airport. I'm just saying we should fix the one that we're already using. Honestly, that Lagos airport needs some serious updating and upgrading. And yes, those immigration officers need to stop taking people's food when they are traveling abroad, especially people's gari, people's pepper, for pepper soup. Like this woman, she was really upset when they took down her pepper.
You had the dollar we make here, you bring it to Nigeria to support Nigeria. But where you're taking pepper, anything from there to here, they harass you as if you're not a citizen of Nigeria.
Poor woman, she really missed her pepper. By the way, they told us one time that they are building a big stadium in Abuja and they spent 40 billion naira. 40 billion naira. My people, go to the stadium today. It's filled with grasses. They've abandoned the place for years. Now, this is what you need to know. We are not just borrowing money from China. We are now learning Chinese in our schools. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm seeing a modern recolonization. Yeah, so Nigerian schools have started learning Chinese. Here is the thing. When we go to China, we have to learn their language. You know, everywhere you go, you have to learn the language of the place. But when they come to Africa, we still have to learn their language. I said, something ain't right. You know me, I'm just keeping it real. So, one man in New Jersey decided that his skinny is not big enough. You know, as in his thin, yes. Sorry, I can't say it out loud. That one is too big for my mouth. But this man, Justin Street, a 22-year-old father of 2 kids. What a sad story. He decided to enlarge his penis. I don't know for what. Oops, did I say it? Anyway, Justin decided to enlarge his joystick. So he had one woman inject him with silicone. Unfortunately, the enlargement went bad. The very next day, Justin passed away. May his soul rest in peace. Now, this woman, Cassia Rivera, was arrested for manslaughter and she could face up to 10 years in jail. Apparently, they did the procedure in her apartment. Wow. Why would anyone be so reckless with their life? But what does a man get from bigger akini? It's not as if he can't do now. He already had 2 children. Does size matter? I wonder. So my people, if anyone tries to entice you with plastic surgery, always remember the story of Justin. Don't let this guy die in vain. Just stay away from all plastic surgery. The lipo, the tummy tuck, the lips adjustment, and butt reduction, butt enlargement. Remember Vanity Wonders? Yes, that one also did butt enlargement. See what happened. Not just her. Yes, that woman too. There are plenty of them. Please, let this be a lesson for you. Trust me, you are beautiful the way you are. Maybe you just need less makeup. And yes, sometimes it can be too much. Yes. Or maybe you need to put on some powder. Maybe that is all you need. But the truth is, you need to be comfortable in who you are because there is nobody else like you. You know me? I'm just keeping it real. Speaking about men's joystick, there is this pastor in Zambia who does not need to enhance his kidney at all. In fact, the kidney is starting to get out of hand. You know I don't like to gossip. I like to mind my own business. But this story is very interesting. I just feel like I need to let you know about it. But please don't tell anybody. It was me that told you this story. This pastor, they call him Bishop Chika. Why am I whispering? This pastor, they call him Bishop Emmanuel Chika. This man has been accused of impregnating 10 women in his church. 10 women, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 women. That is too much. How can you with 10 women? What a shame. These are end times, my people. These are signs of end times. So the pastor denied the allegations. He said the only reason he's been accused of impregnating these women is because his church leaders are jealous of him. I was like, what? He said the leaders of his church are jealous of his financial and spiritual wealth. That by the grace of God, he has been able to build a mansion in Lusaka. That is why they are jealous. I'm like, there are so many pastors that are wealthy and people don't accuse them of impregnating church members. So why is yours different? And then I found out that this pastor has a history of, doing it. Yes, with one woman that is not a member of his church. Gigolo, yes. So they asked him about this woman. They said, well, pastor, everybody knows that you are sleeping around at least with this woman. He said, that one is true. I do not deny that I have sinned. However, this woman has been a huge support for him. He said even when he was sick, that this woman was with him in the hospital. That she was by his bedside, that she's like a mother figure to him, and that his whole family, including his wife, knows about this woman. So her own is not a secret. I said, hey, this is a man of God talking like this. So he said the thing is, he makes sure he doesn't touch the women that are his church members. I said, I have a difficult time believing that. Especially because this pastor already has a child out of wedlock with another woman. Oh, I almost forgot. This pastor is also in trouble with immigration in Zambia. They are saying that he's Nigerian. He has a Nigerian name and a very thick Nigerian accent. But he insists that he is Zambian, that he was born and raised in Zambia. But somehow, he's the only one with Nigerian accent. That must be a miracle, right? I don't know why he reminds me of Pastor Chinedu of Kenya.
Happy, I want to. All the girls no one solo. Oh, yes. They want some porokotom. They pray for Chinetin.
Maggie, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Shiro, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Mary, baby.
Oh, yeah. See, if you're going to be a man of God, please be real. Seriously, be real. Stop playing all these games that will make people talk bad about Christianity. I'm just saying. How can you preach to people like that now? And how can a church member be sleeping with a man of God? That is not your husband. My dear sisters, what kind of miracle are you looking for? So the pastor has agreed to do DNA test once the babies are born. Like I said, I don't like to talk about other people. But if you want, I can tell you when the result comes out. You know me, I'll always keep my ears open. I'm just keeping it real. Before I leave today, I want you guys to see a little bit of Namibia. Alright y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next week, I'ma see y'all later. Peace out.